Cue it up and see if the sound is working as usual. Let's see. Do I hear anything? Cue it up and see if the sound is working. I do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay. And I don't know what LinkedIn's doing to me. Maybe it's just people are sick of live streams after the pandemic, but I've been doing it since long before that. And so if you like this, share it. I don't know what that exactly means on LinkedIn. I think if you comment, I think it's worth like 20 likes. So I don't say that, but comment, okay? That would be a good idea. And let's get into the crazy stuff. Here we go. I like this commercial from Home Depot because it has an old white guy with a beard on here, like Santa. And I don't see, we talked just last week about how a lot of people don't see themselves, especially the elderly, don't see themselves in commercials. So I really like this, that they put an elderly in there. He's got a few years on me and a few pounds, but I'm probably headed there myself any minute, right? Okay, let's go.
Time for dads to have their day, and the Home Depot has the ideas and inspiration you need to make Dad's Day with Father's Day savings, to give Dad the power to take things low and slow, or to just help Dad see what's coming, because it all goes by faster than you think. Make Dad's Day with Father's Day savings on what matters most at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
And that's the truth, man. It goes by faster than you think. And now here I am. My wife's threatening to get me a lawnmower. I think that's a hint. Luckily, there's a drought, so the grass is only about waist high right now. But if you're thinking of Father's Day gifts, something consumable like scotch or maybe cigars or golf balls. Golf balls are very consumable. And let's go on to the rest of the news. Okay, and I'm on the wrong page and I don't even know where I'm at here. Okay, let's go. Okay, Dr. Augustine Fou was booted from Forbes, and he announced that yesterday. It's all good. I guess the topics were too controversial. And just to put it in perspective, because I put up about, I don't know, I think I have about 40 articles on LinkedIn, and I did about 100 articles over the years in DM News and other places like that. But look at this. This guy's got 213 articles on Forbes. He's got 216 LinkedIn articles, 60, and he's got 785 slide decks. And they're all about ad fraud and digital marketing. So if you have any doubts that digital marketing is full of fraud, then you need to go to Dr. Fou's page and read some of his articles. They are just barn burners. He's like the only one telling the truth in the world, of course, except myself. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that, and we're gonna have Dr. Fou on the show. I'm sure. I'm gonna reach out to him again. I did already once today, so if you're out there, absolutely, let's talk. Okay, here's an interesting article by Paula and Chiachi, I think it is. Anyway, and it's about email versus DMail. And I thought that was kind of clever. Okay, there's plenty of myths, right? There's plenty of myths saying direct mail can't be targeted. I don't know where that came from. Back in the 80s, I had to drive to Chicago because we did what looked like a telegram saying to our business-to-business print clients, it's time to reorder that stationery, or it's time to reorder that. And we had we had the exact item that they'd ordered. This was in like 1982, and I had to drive to Chicago because the U.S. Postal Service decided that it was first-class mail, that it was personal mail. So where you'd get that idea that direct mail isn't targeted, I mean, that's just flat out silly. With Musician's Friend, we used to segment 4 versions of their catalog every month and dovetail them in a hierarchy. And we had about a dozen different varieties of catalogs. And depending on how you reacted, we would vary that content every month. We found out after a couple of months, after about 18 months, it wasn't worth the trouble. Oh, by the way, that's where I first learned that personalization isn't everything and targeting isn't everything either. But anyway, an email can't be done at scale without going to spam. I'm not sure that's true either. Both are dying. Well, she's pointing out that these aren't true. Okay, so I don't know. That might be true. And email is still preferred by the younger generations. Okay, I don't know. I'm waiving my judgment on this one because I've done plenty of both. I'm doing both, and but I don't do it at scale enough to know what's best. What I'm excited about right now is I'm working on a project with Market Builder. If Market Builder's out there, say hi. And they they're not the only ones. There's other printers that I work with that do this. But when they send a direct mail piece, it isn't mentioned in this article. When they send a direct mail piece, they also send an accompanying email saying that it's getting there any minute, right? And so that sort of thing is wonderful in terms of multi-channel. Now, that said, I still believe direct mail is a better foundation than email, and I'll tell you why. So, reach and targeting. Can you reach a lot of people? Well, almost everyone lives somewhere, but almost everyone also has an email address. Right. Okay. I have dozens, I think. I don't even know. I've lost count of so many. But does that mean that they're looked at with equal vigor? No. And it says email is personal. Now, here's something to think about. If you're looking for a decision maker in a household, direct mail, we know, is delivered. Email may go in the spam folder, often does. Even my own email goes in when I track it to one of those assorted emails that I keep for tracking purposes. My own emails go into the spam folder of my own spam, of my own folder. I don't know how. I should whitelist myself. But anyway, but when you use mail, it goes to the household. You know it's delivered, and informed visibility from the U.S. Postal Service, which is free, can tell you when it gets to the household. So you know when it gets there, and you know it gets at least touched and examined. And I think we can also assume that it gets touched and examined by the decision makers. Because my wife looks through the mail every day, and she looks at it with care. Now, she also throws it in the trash, but no one else was allowed to throw it in the trash. So, there's a certain sense in which I'd rather send it to the right person than send it to a particular person. Think about that. Okay? Email offers the ability to zero in on specific targets based on their online and offline attributes. Okay, cost. Yeah, email is cheap. That's true. But the argument that mail is expensive because the postal rates have just gone up. Well, I remember when first class mail was a nickel. And I have a postcard where it's a penny postcard. That's what they call them. And I have some of those from the archives. I have where they put my grandfather's name on the mailing piece and the name of Nashotah, Wisconsin, and that's all it needed to get delivered. How about that? Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so postal rates have gone up. They keep going up. They will keep going up. And guess what? There's still ROI. Okay, ROI email can't be beat. Well, and then I love this. It's estimated. Why don't you give me a case study, Paula? And any example. Because I don't believe these averages. I hear them about direct mail. I don't believe those either. Okay, validity. Looking at email and direct mail, which one is more accurate in reaching the intended recipient? It's a big question. Mailing addresses don't change that often, while business, especially business contacts, can change all the time, and their postal address can change all the time too. So it's a big problem. This is maybe one of the biggest problems with the pandemic was people working from home. We didn't know their home address. So you mailed it to the office, and I mailed CEOs and things, and then followed up, and they said no, they didn't get it because somebody looked at it and decided it wasn't real, but it was real, and I hand addressed them even. Okay, Privacy regulations. Now that's one I wanted to mention because almost no privacy regulations that I talked about this yesterday, uh, prohibit mail. Uh, and um, and I'm trying to think of I think it's Warren up in Canada told me that the reason that is because governments make money on postage. So they don't like email and they can fight that, but they don't want to fight mail because they need to keep that going to keep the government going. So privacy regulations, by and large, if you want to reach out to your customers and past customers, email is not the way. Direct mail is the way. There's no prohibition for mailing them a postcard saying, is your email correct? There is prohibition for emailing them and asking them that same question with GDPR at least. But playing a video from direct mail, coffee mugs, or any other print, I'd love to. I play videos regularly, and if you've seen Andrew Ettinger's, his are really amazing. So Bradley, send me a link, and make it on my show if you have a direct mail video or a coffee mug. I love imprinted. I just axed, maybe it'll be in tomorrow's show. I axed a thing about promotional merchandise just before the show. Okay, quality providers say we guarantee 95% email validity. I don't know what that means. How do you even know? I mean, you got open rates. And then they go to open rates. Paula goes to open rates, and I'm saying, okay, some studies report that 90% of direct mail gets opened. I don't think that can possibly be true. The mailbox gets opened, but the mail does not get opened. The only reason that could possibly be true is if you count every FSI and every postcard as already open, then maybe you could call it that. But no. But if an email gets opened, Now, what I want to know is sometimes I click the email just to mark it read. Sometimes I mark the whole stack as read. Does that get counted as read? Or is that just clicked in mass? I don't know the answer. In Gmail, I've got 2,000 or 3,000 emails right now marked unread, and I'm going to search in Gmail with is:"unread" or something like that. There's a command that you can do, and you can get them all at once. Is that an opened email? I don't know. Is an opened email where I just click through the whole stack? Ding, 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 just to turn off the bold to mark it read? I'm sure that is. I'm sure that looks like an open click to you, Mr. Marketer or Miss Marketer. Okay? So, and if the link is clicked, yeah, sure, okay. But the bounce rate is 50% on everything, SEO and emails, I bet. So anyway, I'm looking at sales. Can we track sales? And then Paula says that the customer journey, yeah, because you're tracking 15 touch points, and oftentimes you tilt it toward digital. So you can read Augustine Fou on that one. With direct mail, it's required it requires mentioning the mailing offer or physically entering the printed code. That is so false. Okay, we know who got mailed. We have the whole mailing list. All we have to do is a matchback analysis to see who bought. And it's not just an open, it's a purchase. That's so much better than a click, right? What does a click tell you? And it probably gets lost in attribution on the way into the order process if the person uses a different email on their order, which is common, right? As I have multiples, or I don't put one on at all. Either way, okay? So, yeah, it's as easy as a click, but the thing that we can do best with direct mail in attribution is we can know who got mailed, and we can not mail some of them. And we can actually, because the engagement and the purchase is so much higher than all these other vehicles, we know that it gets to the household, we know it gets looked at, and we know who looks at it and does not buy. And normally in machine learning for marketing, you want to predict who does not buy. You can mail all the 100,000 a month income earners or email them and try to sell them a Ferrari. But most of them aren't going to buy one. Just happens. And some of them are, and you don't know why. It might be like Kanye, who his dad took him to the car show, and when he was about 8 years old, and they wouldn't let him sit in the Ferrari. The Ferrari guy wouldn't let a little black kid sit in the Ferrari, and he remembered that his whole life. And he says, now all my products reflect that Ferrari look. He says, I think about the Ferrari whenever I design a product. And he probably owns 6 of them, right? So he was the market. But Ferrari doesn't know that unless they watched his bio, which I did. I liked it. I like Kanye. He's a little nuts, but, he's okay. I considered voting for him for president, but, I don't think he was on the ballot in Wisconsin. Anyway, we're digressing again. So the point is, you may not be able to track down why someone buys. But with enough people looking at it, touching it, and not buying, you can get a feel for who's not a good bet. And that's about as far as you can go, no matter what they tell you about how we can predict what you'll buy next. Okay, so, do buyers like having a physical mailing piece that's tactile and visual? Or do they think it's wasteful and environmentally and not environmentally friendly? If they do, they don't understand recycling paper, which is like the most recyclable thing on earth. Are they tired of getting emails? Of course they are. I get, 600 a day or something? But with omni-channel, I used to buy a lot from Paul Frederick, menswear catalog, when I cared about menswear. And I would wait till their email came because their email would always have sale codes in it. The catalog I would look at and decide what I wanted, decide what was trendy, and then I would buy it with the email. Guess who gets the attribution? Probably the email. Was that what caused me to buy? No, I liked the catalog. I sat and looked at the catalog, decided what I wanted. I'd already knew what I wanted before the email came. And that is the problem. Whereas with mail, we cannot mail some people. We can see the impact. We can directly measure the causal impact of changes in our marketing. Changes in offer, changes in price, changes in list. And that's why direct mail is the most cutting edge media available today. Have a great day. Like and share. Comment. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.